Hi, my name is Hector Sanchez, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can integrate particle candy into your Corona SDK project using the Kwik Photoshop plugin. For those of you that don't know, Corona SDK is a development framework for mobile apps that allows you to publish an app or game for iOS, Android, Kindle Fire, and Nook from a single codebase. Particle Candy is a particle engine library to create all kinds of effects in your games like smoke, trails, fire, explosions, rain, etc. And Kwik is a Photoshop plugin that enables you to create a Corona SDK app from within Photoshop. So with that, let's get started.
Okay, so in order to follow the tutorial, you're gonna need three things. So let's check them out. The first one, you're gonna need, of course, the latest public build of Corona, which at the time of this recording is 2189. You're gonna need a copy of the Particle Candy library. And lastly, you're gonna need the version 3.0 or above of the Kwik Photoshop plugin. So let's start by taking a look at the final result of the project. So let me run it for you. So here is the project running. As you can see, there are clouds falling from the sky. And this is the rocket that we're gonna move around the screen. As you can see, I can drag it all around. Here we have a group of 3 ships that are shaking. And as you can see, also the fire underneath the rocket is also moving. Here I added 3 buttons in order to show the purpose of the tutorial, which is to show you the implementation of Particle Candy. So if I click here on Start Particle, you can see how the particles immediately start to come out of the tip of the rocket. And as you can see, I can move around the rocket and the particles will follow through. I also have a pause button here that will pause the emission of the particles, and nothing's happening now. But if I click the start button again, you're gonna see again the flow of particles. I added a last button, which is the delete particle, and if I click on this one, it's going to completely get rid of the particles from the application. And if I start the particle again, nothing will happen because the particles would be already erased. So now let's take a look at the settings for the Photoshop plugin. So here are let's start with the layers. Here we have the sky. The sky is set up as a vector drawing from here. This is color blue. Here we have the rocket, and below the rocket you can see that we have the object that we're using as a particle, which is in this case the bullet. And then we have the fire, right? Then we have each of the 3 spaceships that are above the rocket, and of course the cloud, and each of the 3 buttons that I added to show the functionality of Particle Candy. So now let's take a look at the functionality from the Kwik panel. So the ship A, B, and C have the animation that comes from the shake widget. If we take a look at one of them, let's see. You can see that it's rotating 4 degrees and it's running forever, and it's triggered when the page starts. Alright, and it's the same for each of the three chips. We also have an animation here via the shake widget on the fire that's here at the bottom of the rocket. Then we have a group that is made by the 3 spaceships. So let's take a look. So here are the 3 spaceships. grouped together into a group called GP_spaceships, and we apply an animation to this group via the rotation shifts. So let's take a look. So this animation is applied to the group. It's rotating 5 degrees. It lasts for 3 seconds. It's playing forever, and it's triggered as soon as the application starts, and it returns to the start position after play. And this, as I said, it's applied to the whole group of the spaceships. Then we have the drag functionality. As you saw, I was able to drag the rocket all around the screen, and the multiplier here, multiplier replacement, is taking the cloud, and let's take a look. It replicates the cloud 2 times through an interval of half a second randomly for the distance. It has a rotation of minus plus 10 degrees. It's playing forever, and it has physics enabled, so in order to so we can see the clouds falling from the top to the bottom of the screen. And then we have the 3 buttons, which each of these 3 buttons is calling a corresponding external code. So let me take a look at the delete button over here. It's calling an external code piece that I'm going to explain in a second. And it's the same for the start particles and the stop particles. And the most important thing for the purpose of this tutorial is the external library that I added via the projects and then external code. This is the library that I'm gonna give you and that you can get via Github, so I'll show you from where in a moment. But first, before doing that, you need to add the external library of the particle candy library. Now let's take a look at the code. So here I am in my editor, in my code editor, and this is the library that I created for you, so you can implement the particle candy library. And it's well commented step by step, literally. So let's take a look. So the first step is to create the emitter and give it a name. In this case, the emitter is called E1, and the position of the emitter is the same as the rocket. So the rocket, this is the layer over here, but as you know, since version 3 of Kwik, we need to add layer and a dot before the name of the asset, in this case the rocket. So this is particle called E1 that has the same position as the rocket, and that's step 1. The second step is to add the emitter to the scene group, but before doing that I added a handle. In this case the handle is called my emitter, and this is the emitter itself, and via the handle I am adding the emitter to the main scene group for the composer library of the code. So scene group insert my emitter, which is the handle over here. Step 3 is just a table with some specifications for the particle itself. Here you can see all the settings, and you can play with them or copy some of the from the ones that come from the samples in the particle library. But the most important thing is to add the name of the particle. In this case we are using the particle for the bullet, and the name of the bullet in the images directory, it is called p1_bullet.png. and since version 3 of Kwik, we need to add composer dot and then the name of image directory. So this is the whole location of the p1bullet.png. Alright, so this is the most important thing, and you can play with all the settings. Step number 4 is to create the actual particle. So we are creating the particle, and we are giving a name for the particle of test1 in this case, and we're attaching the properties that come via the table called particle properties. So here it's important to know that the name of the particle, it's different from the name of the emitter. These are two different things. Alright, Then step number 5 is to feed the emitter. So in this case we are attaching the particle test1 to the emitter E1. Alright, and then number 6, it's very important because in this case we want to make the particle follow a specific object, and in that object in this case is gonna be the rocket. So rocket is the object we want the particle to follow, and this one is under layer dot rocket, but it could follow any other object if we wanted. So the emitter E1 is going to follow the rocket in this case. And then steps 7, 8 and 9 are commented out because I am triggering these steps via the buttons that I showed you on the live demo. So let's start with the first one. In order to trigger the emitters, we need to copy these 2 lines, and I created a new file called startParticle.lua. So here are the 2 lines, and I am triggering this action, these 2 lines of code from the button start particle, which is right over here. Alright, so I am attaching that file that only has 2 lines as an external code under the button start particle. So here it is. Alright, so continuing with the other actions. So in order to stop the emitter, all we need is one single line of code. So I create a new file called stopParticle.lua, and I just paste that line over here, and I assign this external code to the other button that is called pause the emitter. And then the last one is delete the particle. In order to delete the emitter, we can do it in 2 ways. One is to delete a very specific emitter. In this case we only have one that is called my emitter via the handle that I created. So first we need to make it nil, and after the handle is nil out, then we can proceed to delete the specific particle by calling it by its name. So this is not the particle, this is the emitter. Alright, or if we want to get rid of all the emitters instead of just deleting only one, we can call this line over here that is particles.cleanup, and it would delete all the particles, all the emitters that are active during the scene. So that's essentially how it works. So essentially everything is here under this single file pccreation.lua, and then you can take pieces of it and then copy and paste them into several other files depending on the actions that you want to make, or you can remove the comment lines in case you want to activate the particles as soon as the file starts. So it depends on you. So now where to get the code? You can get it from my GitHub. It's over here at github.com/appresario/particle candy helper. So it is right here, and it's only one file. It's the file that I just showed you, and here it comes with instructions of how to use it. Essentially all you have to do is just add the particle candy as an external library and name it particles, and then add an external code from the pccreation.lua plus any other additional ones that you create based on the actions as you saw from the example. So that's all for today. Hopefully this tutorial is useful. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.